League of Legends is a video game, and it was made by people. Oh, are you fucking kidding me? It also sucks enormous dick! Sometimes I wonder if all my time spent playing video games is a waste. But then I look back and I remember all the fun memories I had with my friends, beginning all the way back with Minecraft in middle school.
Am I just in?
Oh, so you go on Realms, and then right next to the Minecraft logo on the right, there's gonna be a little invitation, and you click that.
Thank you for explaining that.
And surprisingly, right after that, League of Legends.
Yup, there it is. Yes! Yes, dude! Yes! Yes! Yes!
I remember getting into it once Channel 1 News had a news segment on the League of Legends Season 2 World Championship, and I was like, whoa, this game looks like shit, but it's free to play? Sign me up. I played this game from the end of Season 2. I know this because I remember Kha'Zix being released. And to be honest, I don't really regret the time I spent in this game. League of Legends is a well-designed MOBA. It strikes the perfect balance between casual and hardcore players.
8 seconds on Rocket. Oh.
No! Oh, I want that shit! No! You fucking took it from me! Oh, come over here, Cass! You piece of shit! You fucking took the red buff from me! Die, you pieces of shit!
Oh, Kevin!
Run! Run!
Kevin!
Relax.
Wait,
Yeah?
did you see that?
Yeah.
For newer players, they don't have to learn too much to be effective. Right-clicking is the only movement option, and you aren't penalized for changing direction. The camera is on lock screen by default, so newer players can focus on laning, killing minions grants a sound effect, and a clear indicator that this is a beneficial thing to do. There are countless things that make it a great beginner MOBA, like a revamped tutorial, beginner quest, a clear distinction between the characters, environment, etc. And for those looking to be competitive, the game has enough nuance and complexity that you can always learn from every game if you've tried. Wave management, tracking summoner spells, the enemy jungle, learning lane matchups, orb walking, animation canceling, the list can go on. Naturally, with this many strengths, this game's gonna be fun as hell. Alright, so I'm in ranked right now. Their Singe is 0 and 12. And you know, typing in chat, doing his Singe things. And you know, this game would have been a win, but you see, my Maokai went 1 and 13. So, we lose that one. League of Legends unfortunately suffers from a lot of different problems like balancing, toxicity, and other more hidden systematic issues that keep the game interesting. And frankly, I don't even know where to start. When new content is added to a game, the player base should be excited and rejoice. I definitely know a community that would be. But in League of Legends, everyone's like, okay, what broken shit are they gonna add to this game now? Whenever they make a new champion, they do it at the expense of everyone else. Gwen and Viego invincibility, Akali and Kiana perma invisibility, Akali's 4 dashes, and conditional unlimited movement on Aurelia and Yasuo. Just terrible, terrible abominations of game design that even Satan himself fears. And then you compare this to like some older champs, which are like, okay, we got Jax. He can jump, he has an auto reset, he can dodge attacks and stun with this ability, and his ultimate gives him armor and magic resist. Okay, that's pretty good. And then you have champions who holds passives are like Pled rides his semi-trusty mount plus 100% on all damage dealt to the that basic attack Oh, why have we strayed from the path of good game design? We went from Jack's Q is a jump, it does damage when it hits something, that's it, to Gwen's E, where it's like Gwen dashes to target location, afterwards she gains 10 plus 15% bonus magic damage on hit on her basic abilities, bonus attack speed, and bonus attack range for 4 seconds. Like, how do you fucking get here, Riot? The champion creation team are a bunch of artists. They just want to make cool and weird shit. And you know, that's fine. But they have a severe lack of consideration for players that don't enjoy playing as, or against, unfair horseshit. The severe lack of counterplay in these new kits thus results in many reworks and severe stat reductions just to keep them in line. Aphelios, Irelia, Akali, Ryze, Aatrox, Zoe. These champions have been nerfed and reworked to the ground, that they don't even resemble their day one releases anymore, and while making their base stats low seems like a fine enough solution, in practice, if a player is skilled enough, they'll still be able to do an unreasonable amount of things, and it's still shit to play against. While some may argue it's deserved because these champions are hard to play, that's true, they are hard to execute correctly, so most of the time, their potential isn't fully realized. But when they do, you fucking can't do anything about it at all. Oh, your team didn't draft the #1 cockblocker Poppy? Well, that sucks for you.
I'm gonna do my happy dance. Whoa, get this guy the fuck away from me.
Oh, she's
I'm
immune.
outside of the circle, so she can't.
Outplayed.
Oh, what a fucking mouth.
If I can like
breather.
sneak in and if I can sneak in and munch on a minion.
Ooh.
Give me that.
Harry Puck.
He's going in, he's walking ponds.
Holy shit, she just takes damage and she has counterplay and you can hit her. All of those, all the above.
You know, when a Riot developer was criticized on Twitter for the Wukong rework, his response was, "We have 200 years of collective experience. You, the people who play this game and experience it every day, know jack shit about it. So step aside, cause we know what we're doing." Man, you can't get more arrogant than that. It's like going into class and saying to the professor, "You know fucking nothing. Combined with my 200 classmates, we have 4,000 years of academic experience. So go ahead and sit down, cause I think we'll be teaching this class instead." The same balancing issues could be said about the items and runes. Phase Rush has always been one of the most powerful runes in the game, and for like the past 2 years, combined with the new items, Hecarim and Udyr literally became unstoppable, and scaling mages have used it to basically never get caught out in lane and then become raid bosses in the late game. I'm glad they nerfed it, but tell me, why do ranged champions continue to get the same 75% slow resistance as melee champions? Like, what? New mobility options like Gale Force breaks the balance of immobile AECs like Jhin, who, you know, are supposed to be immobile. Dustblade is super fun. Do you like getting one-shot by assassins? Now how about they go invisible, so you don't get caught for doing a dumb kill? But here's the best one. What if you gave immobile juggernauts the ability to slow and catch their opponents out? Well, you get Stridebreaker. And I'm saying this as a Diamond Darius main, like, it sucks. Stridebreaker is too good of an item. I have to build it every game, which locks me into a singular build path, unlike last season where I could have gone either Triforce or Black Cleaver. Alright, so this is me from the future. They're nerfing all movement items, which is nothing wrong in itself. However, I thought the whole point of Stridebreaker was to give champions who didn't have movement in their kits a chance to finally catch up to modern day champions who, you know, have like 4 dashes. Riot, if you're really looking to remedy mobility creep, maybe you should move dashes from all items, so maybe people like this Caitlyn actually get punished for mispositioning. Nerf phase rush slow resistance, at least on ranged champions, like, come on. Now to be honest, new items, champions, and runes being broken, that's fine. This is a massive multiplayer game. I'm sure some crazy item, rune, and champion combo would have accidentally made its way into the game. The issue is, the balance team is slow as fuck. Remember that time ADCs were nerfed to the ground?
I have a question about the Aatrox rework.
Can you guys please revert current items? I can't play the fucking game anymore! I'm begging you!
Yeah, let's suck our sweet time and take a year to revert the item nerfs we did. You know, there's actually a point where the Riot Balance team actually started doing their job and putting out patches every 2 weeks. And honestly, great change. In fact, I wouldn't even mind if it was weekly. But during that time, there was a huge debate and argument being made in the community that these frequent patches would make it daunting for pros to practice, and returning players would find a completely different game, such as this video. But there are several flaws and disagreements I have with it. The first point presented is that we should avoid nerfing champions or items. He discusses the psychological phenomenon loss aversion, where a loss would theoretically feel twice as bad as a win, so people prefer not to lose $5 instead of gaining $5. Where this whole argument falls, however, is the fact that nerfs are a result of buffs in addition to the game. Take, for example, Morgana Jungle. She had the fastest clear in the game.
What the fuck?
And it was a result of a direct buff to her W. And for weeks, she dominated solo queue meta with no nerf in sight. It would take them 4 weeks after the buff to revert it back. And yeah, it probably sucks for Morgana jungle mains. But you see, for everyone else that doesn't play or want to play against Morgana jungle, now they don't have to ban it every game. And they can enjoy moving again after 4 weeks of blatant dominance. And you can pretty much apply this to every champion, rune, and item in the game. Yeah, it sucks when they nerf something so hard that it's practically unplayable. Rest in peace, Aram. But you see, that's a developer issue. That is not an issue indicative of frequent patches. I know jungle mains hate frequent patches, but that's only because Riot Games can't fucking decide what they want the jungle to be. I bet if they didn't change it every season, it would be pretty nice to have changes to jungle champs that didn't completely overpower or nerf them to the dirt. The Aatrox rework was also cited in the video, and you know, that's where they basically deleted old Aatrox. And the insane 80 carry nerfs that allowed Darius to go bot, yeah, those changes were uncalled for, but again, that's a developer issue. Removing beloved things from the game and flat out making a role unplayable is not an inherent property of frequent changes. Now the second point made was that if frequent changes are made, pro players would have to practice much more, and as a result they'll have less time to stream, and since they're pro players they won't be able to foster the popularity of League of Legends.
We're often ambassadors for the game. Without the fans, none of us would have jobs, so keeping the game fun for everyone is super important. But the truth is pros, along with casual players, are really affected by the constant changes. Pushing out a patch every 2 weeks creates a need for more practice than we would need to do otherwise. Competitive players in League will never have as much time for obvious reasons, but a fraction of it would benefit the game's popularity.
Now if I'm being completely honest, no one watches pro players. The most popular League streamers on Twitch are personalities like T1, and pretty much only T1. And for educational content, they prefer to stick to solo queue pros, given the fact that competitive League of Legends is nothing like League of Legends. If you search on YouTube League of Legends, oh look, montages, stream highlights, champion guides, and personalities fill the search result. He tries to make the argument that Ninja is a pro player, and that his presence in Fortnite is what made the game grow.
Fortnite quickly blew up in popularity. The content creators playing Fortnite were a huge reason for its growth, showing off skills for new players to be excited about and having fun too.
Now while undoubtedly he has had influence on expanding the Fortnite community, honestly his collab with Drake and the already growing Fortnite community was what propelled him to fame as a live streamer. He was streaming for years before then. So yes, I acknowledge that watching him doing crazy shit in Fortnite is entertaining and does help the community grow. But you know, the only true way to grow a gaming community is to make the game good, fun, and balanced. Not just having someone really good at it play it. I want to reiterate, yes, I'm sure that there's some people that like watching pro players, but a majority of people watch other content creators because, to be honest, most pro players have like no personality.
because we have the Odd One and Maple Street, or as y'all would like to call it, the Wiley clan, invading the LCS. How's it going?
It's going pretty good.
Sorry about the loss, Maple Street.
Show Freak here with Lemonation and Balls from the victorious Quantic Gaming. So first of all, you guys are in the LCS. How's that feel?
Really good. Really good.
I don't know. It's just super great.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Are you prepared to be pro gamers already, or is it still sinking in?
We've been practicing like in a lot of scrims, and we're like just prepared for this. Like we're just like we already knew like.
What do you feel when you're like a favorite and you like? What does that do to you?
It was very depressing. We were joking about suicide.
And no one wants to sit here and watch like a 3-hour VOD analyzing gameplay. People want to be entertained, okay?
And it's done!
Yes, pro leagues and LCS tend to have more viewership, but let's be honest, is it because we care about LCS? Or does Riot just want to pad their viewership by giving us icons for just opening up Twitch while you do something else? The last point, which isn't a point at all, but is a counter argument to the argument, hey, if you don't update the game, will the game get stale? To which he mentions that there are other competitive games that don't receive updates, but still have diversity and changes to their meta. He cites StarCraft as an example, but the major flaw is that it takes a lot of time. While I agree that new strategies would eventually form if you stuck to like one league patch for a few months, the new meta-defining matchup in StarCraft took 5 years. Imagine playing the same exact game for 5 years, no updates. And yeah, there's Melee, CSGO, and other games, but they aren't nearly as popular to the casual gaming sphere. I don't think there's anyone that wants to spend 3 months to try and perfect wave dashing and frame perfect inputs in Smash Brothers Melee. Like I said earlier, League of Legends is so successful because it strikes a good balance between being easy to pick up and hard to master, which has allowed League to flourish much more than other MOBAs in its time. And besides, the idea of new strategies being found and the game updating don't conflict with each other. In fact, they probably benefit each other. And besides, we all know the general player base isn't really that inventive. We all just use u.gg and just go with the flow of what's working in solo queue. Why spend hundreds of hours pioneering a weird niche build for a champion with potentially no payoff when you can just abuse a meta pick? Or just download a third-party app to do your runes for you. This is why Happy Chime Noises is so popular. He basically teaches the crazy off-meta builds without us having to find them on our own. And lastly, the most horrible point made in this video was prioritizing buffs over nerfs.
I think that there should be more of a focus on buffing what's weak than cutting down what's strong, and that bigger but much more spaced out patches will let the game develop and feel less scrambled. This is inevitably going to bring up the topic of power creep.
Oh yes sir, it does.
Which I'll save for another video.
Now, this is where I'm gonna get biased. I played this game since Season 3, and the most fun part of my early days were the off-meta builds. I'm talking full AP Blitzcrank, a Mumu, Rammus, AD Soraka, AD LeBlanc. These builds worked because what was meta at the time was a slightly stronger than what was off meta, and has been due to massive power creep in items and champion kits that you can't really have this amount of fun in normals anymore. Uber Danger, one of the top content creators, used to make so many full AD and full AP videos, and I'm not trying to flame him for not making more. I'll be burnt out on League 2 if I made it for like 5 years. Trust me, 2 years was enough. But I think the longer gap between the videos is because the meta is just too good not to follow anymore. It now sucks to play something like full AP Nihilist top because the build isn't optimized for it now. Riot's philosophy with champion design and item design has changed. Instead of not trying to enforce the meta, they now build items and champions to the meta. And it just results in these supremely stronger meta builds. Like, I cannot play AP Alistair top anymore, because I'm just gonna go against a Gwen with Riftmaker. Back then, items weren't as strong as they are now. If you look at a lot of older VODs of League, casual and pro, people were building random ass items to fit the situation. You got Volley top, with Warmogs into Blade of the Ruined King, Evelyn into Triforce, and then Rallies. In this pro game, an Olaf went Serelda's into full tank, and I don't have a VOD of this, but I once heard of an Irelia mid in a pro game going Triforce into Frozen Mallet back in like season 2 to 3. Contrast that with today's builds, where most champions usually have like a core first 2 items, and then they can pretty much go anything after that, but I mean, at that point, the game is over. I can't build a random AP item and then go full tank. The first item most champions build now are a mythic, and that mythic pretty much determines what type of playstyle you're gonna go for the rest of the game, as mythic passes grant some other bonus now whenever you build another item, further locking you into a single playstyle. The only time going something like zany like full AP or full AD will work is when Riot jacks the ratios of a champion so high that they end up one-shotting everyone in the game. So in short, nerfs are a necessary evil in preventing power creep. We're kinda past that now with the item changes and runes. I know. I don't think frequent patches are bad, and the reason why I like more is because the ones we currently do not immediately address what is blatantly OP in the meta. If these 2-week patches made more significant changes in nerfing what's OP and buffing what is incredibly weak, I wouldn't mind the current cycle we have now. Anyways, I've lingered on this point enough. Let's talk about rank sucks Rhino penis. The rank grind in League is one of the most tedious and horrible of any multiplayer game for a multitude of reasons. The first being the matchmaking system. Games like Rocket League, CSGO, Hearthstone, you just get put in queue, and when you find a match, you're in. In League of Legends, you gotta select your position, wait 2 to 3 minutes, sometimes fucking 20 minutes if you're really good at the game, then get into champ select, declare champion, ban whatever cancerous shit made it through this patch, wait for everyone to lock in, make your runes, and then you can finally play the game. Oh wait, someone dodged. Well, time to do that all over again. Unfortunately, the long queue times are a byproduct of several positive changes, like everyone getting a ban, everyone choosing their roles before the match. However, half the time, you or somebody else is gonna get autofilled to a lane that they don't even play. So do you risk taking the bad game, wasting 20 minutes of your life, or do you dodge, save your LP, wait 5 minutes, and re-queue? And if you stay in the same queue, you get the same teammates and enemies who now know what champions you play, and will just ban your champs instead. NANI? And depending on where you placed in the pick order, you can get completely cucked. Like honestly, there are games where I have 3 autofilled players. If it's gonna take so long to find a match, why do you have autofill, Riot? Wait, I know. It's for the money. Let me explain. So another reason as to why people dodge is to avoid shit teammates. Let's be honest. You can be doing good, but then your jungle is on an 8-game lose streak and you get autofill with ADC. Yep, that's a dodge if I ever saw one. But then you ask yourself, how did I even get paired up with these people in the first place? Was it just a coincidence? Maybe, but I think not. Losers queue or coin flip games have been popularized by streamers to express that the system has been purposely rigging games so that players have a harder time climbing. While I believe every game is winnable, I think it's actually highly likely that losers queue exists, and it exists for this one reason alone: engagement. Now everything I'm about to say is highly theoretical. Riot could be doing this, they could be not, but nevertheless I think it's important to mention. Also, credit to Happy Chime Noises for making a video about this. Links and credit in the description. Anyways, basically, a study was conducted by EA where they theorized that a game with a balanced matchmaking system, like matching people with even skill, was less engaging than one that effectively decided on whether you win or lost. EA tested this system with an unspecified 1v1 game and found that players were more likely to stop playing for a week if they lost 3 games in a row, which makes sense. But they found that most players stuck around if they lost 2 games in a row, but ended their player session with a win. That sounds familiar to our old promo series where you had to win 2 or 3 games in a row and were queued with players who didn't give a rat ass about your promo. Now, you may say such a system will be hard to pull off in a 5v5 queue system, and maybe you're right, but when I leveled up an account and was helping a friend reach Diamond, at some point after so many wins, we started going against other Smurfs with absurdly high win rates. So if the system can identify who's crazy good, they can also identify who is complete dog shit. And potentially, with statistics from millions of ranked games from the past 10 seasons, they could figure out the perfect win to loss ratio to maintain engagement. And they can use that data to make a matchmaking system to do just that. And with more people spending time in the game, eventually someone's gonna wanna look cool while doing it. Oh, I have skin discounts in my shop for the champions I play? Well, it couldn't hurt spending $20. And boom, that's how Losers Queue can make the money. And it's more than just a Losers Queue. They could be like, hey, you there who just bought a skin, let's give you a slightly higher win rate. Or, you who's been hard stuck silver all season about to hit gold, let's give you a bit of a minor setback, so that way you can get better at carrying your games. Yeah, that's what we're doing. As I said, this is all theoretical. I got nothing to prove. But given Riot Games makes billions of dollars, retaining a large active player base is highly crucial in their business model. Even a small percentage of players leaving or no longer playing could impact them by the millions. So considering the monetary gains, evidence a system like this can exist, and the fact that they hide their MMR system behind the superficial titles of like Iron or Gold or something, is more than likely in my mind that this exists in League of Legends. And as a wise person once said, you're not the customer, you are the product. Toxicity permeates through any online gaming community, and frankly, it's impossible to eliminate. I would love every gaming community to be filled with gentlemen, such as myself, but in the case of League, it's a step above most other communities. It just takes one asshole to get to you and ruin your game, and possibly the whole day. And as a wise donkey once said,
talking shit is probably one of the only fun parts of this boring ass game. I might as well just play the bots if you want people to act like robots, Riot. I wonder if they understand that the root of toxicity is the game. It's just not fun and it pisses people off.
That statement is true in a bunch of different ways. First things first, having a much better reporting and banning system would be great. The after game report and pre-game report is great. Now what would be great is if these players actually got banned. I once ran into a guy in solo queue who went Hail Blades Karthus ADC. No one said a word in champion select, and this guy would run it down bot. And he would do this for 20 games until he was stopped. 20 games of just people wanting to play, ruined. And then it doesn't even compare to this guy in Iron 4, who's just AFKs in a ton of games just to stay in Iron 4. Like, how is this guy not banned? And you know what's funny is that this issue has been happening for years, and it took negativity from a pro player to set off a storm of changes. It really puts in perspective Riot's priorities, doesn't it? Aside from actually punishing people, there's a lot Riot can do systematically to reduce toxicity and general frustration. First off, communication. Communication is probably one of the most important things in this game. However, is also equally one of the most toxic. First, let's tackle pings. Pings in League are very efficient. You got one for vision. It's dangerous to go in there. The ambiguous one. But then you have this cursed one. With any player base, some form of non-verbal communications are going to become toxic. Or with the power of pressing and holding down Alt, someone can spam ping you for dying once or losing lane. Look, Riot, it was a great addition to be able to ping more things, but I'm not sure about teammates and their abilities. But I don't necessarily blame them. It feels too easy to flame someone with pings, so the solution would be to tweak or rework some pings so they aren't as toxic or spammable. For example, I don't really see the benefit in spam pinging your teammates, but if you're gonna keep it in the game, add a large time delay between pinging other teammates and their items. And as for enemies missing ping, You could remove the question mark in the ping, or at least rework it in some way where people would actually use it productively. Maybe it can only be used in Fog of War, or if that's too extreme, the ping is transparent or a lot weaker when you spam it on a teammate. Just any changes to de-incentivizing toxicity in the ping system would be more than a welcome addition. If flaming becomes harder through pings, that only leaves people to use chat to flame. And in a game where it's crucial to have one hand on a mouse and one on the keyboard, you expect people to use it only when it's absolutely necessary to convey information. Nope! This community fucking sucks. You know it's bad when it's recommended for jungle mains to type /mute all before a game starts.
But in lower MMRs where I know people do not use the chat effectively, it's always going to be a hindrance more than it is a benefit. Like, I'm going to call it an expert opinion. It really, really, really is never worth it, specifically as a jungler, to not mute your team.
Though, it's hard to blame them with the way League of Legends is structured.
The root of toxicity is the game. It's just not fun and it pisses people off.
League of Legends does not play like a normal game should. In every game, the ideal feedback loop is to reward the player for doing well, and to punish them, not harshly, but just to punish them for doing bad. This does not happen in League of Legends. Well, it does. You can kick someone's ass in lane, but if your team sucks, you lose the game and the enemy calls top diff after them. But then this is where the reward, punishment, feedback system gets complicated. How much impact should one player have? In a 5v5 game, everyone should have 1/5 of the impact. But at this point, why am I playing with randoms? I should just do rank flex instead. There are games where I do very well. Oh shit, there's a ward behind them. Oh, you guys are fucking dead. You know why? Cause I'm fucking here. Woo. Oh, okay. Oh, I see. It's 3-on-1. You know, I told them to do it. You know, because it wouldn't be fair to the other team. There's a double kill. Here's a triple. And the master of inting himself, Kled, is now here. And now we get to do Baron for free. Oh, what the fuck is this? Oh, come on, enemy team. This didn't work once. You think it's gonna work now? Oh shit. Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, the last man with Baron it's in, just like that. And now we lose. Then games where I lose lane but end up winning because everyone else did well. I know if you want to climb, you can't have a result-oriented mindset, and I personally don't, but I can deeply understand why the average player does. Games are very time-intensive. They can last from 20 minutes to 40, and when one dumbass gets caught and loses a game for everyone, that's pretty tilting in itself.
Okay, what?
You don't have smite,
Okay.
you went in.
Oh
Of
my
course.
god.
Whoa, weird.
Ranked is such a large part of League of Legends. It's a status symbol. The best way to play League is with a mindset of improving and focusing on your gameplay instead of what's happening out of your control. But we have a rank system solely based on the black and white system of win or lose, and considering how long games last, I don't blame people who just spam games in the hopes of a win streak or a team diff in their favor.
Right, you've got to rework the YOLO system. On first pick, I call for top, lock in Darius, then Jax. Fifth pick explains how he's the best Jax in the whole world. He's gonna pick it no matter what. Your ranked rating shouldn't be decided just by winning or losing the match as a whole. You should also get points for individual efforts like showing up to team fights, having a good KD, getting assists, placing wards, buying support items. So then when you lose 10 points because of fuck up Jax, then at least you get like 4 points back for doing good stuff the whole match. And there he goes.
Aside from the rank system that incentivizes a result-oriented mindset, the game doesn't do a good job in teaching you how to get better. You can make a fucking dumbass play, but you could be rewarded because the enemy team sucks and won't punish you for it.
No, Nastus. No. Come on, dude. Who was responsible for inviting you to that pizza party at Uncle Rise's house? That's right, me. Thank you, Bard. Okay, I'm gonna let you go. But you know, next time you're paying for the fucking pizza.
Or you could play the game right, make the right call, and still lose. Alright, my Udyr is coming top lane. Let's see, I'm gonna push this wave, get level 3, I'm gonna hit this Irelia a lot. I'm gonna use my E ability. This stuns Irelia. Now I run away, I flash, and God damn it. And we gave Irelia a kill. So now we lose! You don't want a game to reward players for bad habits and punish players who made the right choices. But due to the sheer fuckery of the big skill gap between elos and what you can and can't get away with, League of Legends is a hellscape for new players who actually want to get good at the game. Concepts like trading, champion matchups, wave management, jungle tracking, macro, animation canceling, and 50 other things that aren't explained in the game make the learning process daunting. And combined with factors that you need a godlike mental fortitude and patience to deal with the toxicity, the average player is going to resort back to their gamer instincts and suck dick. In fact, they do! You know it's fucked when there's entire whole third-party companies based around teaching people how to get good at League of Legends, because the game itself doesn't do a good job at it. Aside from getting better at the game, the bounty system is a mixed bag. In some ways, it punishes a player for doing well. Sometimes you lose your bounty because someone on your team misplayed or even you misplayed. But it also gives you the ability to come back in the game. So it's not all doom if the jungler has a hard-on for you and comes into your lane 4 times before 15 minutes. I'm not even saying I'm against the bounty system, but there are players that don't like the immense pressure it puts on them not to die a single time. And there are players that do benefit from it. But sometimes those that do benefit don't end up learning from their mistakes that led up to their opponents getting a bounty in the first place. It's important to consider the implications of such a system, and these are just some things to consider. God, I'm fucking out of breath. League of Legends is one of my favorite games of all time. I played this game since middle school, about 10 years ago, and there's no other game that offered this much engaging replay value than League. Obliterating someone's ass in ranked is fun. Obliterating someone's ass in normals with Darius jungle's fun. It's a great game to play casually. I get to show off my diamond skills whenever I play with my silver and bronze friends. And just wacky shit happens all the time.
Wait, no.
Despite all that, I can't ignore the flaws and issues this game has. There are some I haven't even mentioned, like, make Nexus Blitz permanent please. Fuck you TFT. Every game should strive to deliver the best experience possible, and League has been in this constant cycle of making changes that break the game, which takes a balanced team months to fix, but hey look, here's a new skin. I want the game to be more than that, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get that, considering the direction League has been heading with KDA, and God forbid Seraphine, and said company that owns League of Legends. But one can only hope.
I'm done.
Thrones on him.
He's done, bro.
That's our main target, or enemy.
Looks like that Thresh is more of the main enemy, who wouldn't you say?
Thrones on.
He doesn't have flash.
Someone stop him! Show him his boss! Jerk him off! Give him a fucking hand job!
Guide! Senpai, please!
Got him, but I'm by myself.
Holy shit,
I'm
who's
retreating.
this?
I'm retreating. You know what? I'm going back in. Actually, this is not a good idea.
Holy fuck! Our damage is stupid! We're gonna win this fucking game!
Don't give Jinx a Penta. Jinx has a Penta now. Jinx
Yo, wait, she's gonna get a Penta.
Don't give her a Penta, what the fuck? Don't give her a Penta, what the fuck? Don't give her a Penta.
No, just peace out, Oh, she's gonna get a Penta.
Oh, we all gotta flash in. We all gotta flash in their base.
Alright, wait, everyone make it to where... Alright, make it to where it's gonna die, and then we're all just gonna run in.
Guys, I have the speed buff. Y'all ready?
Alright, target Jinx. Ready? Get Jinx.
Yo, I'm flashing in!
Yo, get this.
Oh no, the minion. Yo, someone in. Oh no. Yo, guys, all we have to do is maneuver around the base, sit right here, and then I'm gonna speed buff us all in.
We can't. Oh, there he is.
Oh no! Welcome to the bone zone!
God, dude, guys are so fucking stupid.
Holy shit, I think we're losing this. Volley doesn't die.
Wait, Duncan, are you trying to say to me that he's a tank? What the fuck? There's no way.
You smell that? We've been teleported to Bronze 5 Elo. Not the fact that we keep losing team fights because they have a more balanced comp since we went all tank. It's the fact that we won that match.